Hi, and welcome to Three Oaks Studio. Today we are doing a video on giving you some 5 great tips on how to be a hostess this holiday season. So come on in. Tip number 1 for being a great hostess is to think about your guest and engaging all of their senses. So when they come into your home, you want it to be cozy. You know, you want your lighting to be good. You want to engage the sense of smell, so it's important to do some candles. But about the candles, you don't want a real overpowering candle because some people have allergies. Some people are sensitive to certain smells. So you want a candle that's just nice and just a hint, but not overpowering on that. The next thing I always like to have when my guests are coming is some background music on. Just something nice playing in the background that drowns out, some of the other conversations going on, but it's not, once again, overpowering the conversation. So it just gives them just a little something in the back is always fun to do. And then I always like to keep my temperature down just a little bit, because if you have it on your warmest temperature setting, when all the bodies get in there, then it gets hot. And I had rather be a little cool than too hot. So always keep my temperature thermostat turned down just a little bit, because you got the candles going, which adds some warmth. You have all your guests in there, which the body heat really adds to the warmth of the room. So just keep that temperature down just a little bit, so then the things naturally warm up and you won't be too hot inside of your home. But I do like to keep some blankets for people just in case they get, if they are a little chilled, they have a blanket. And then also I like to have some, what I like to call little nibbles. I always like to have like some little baked chips or crackers, maybe some peanuts, something that they can get something to eat just a little bit before we have the big meal. That's always a great little icebreaker to have, is when people can just kind of sit and nibble and talk, and it just kind of makes people feel more at home and calm. So once again, you want to engage all of those senses. You want it just to be so welcoming and cozy, and just have some food and some drinks ready for them, and just really greet your guests at the door with a smile, and just be ready for a fun evening. Just a little tip about having your little nibbles out before your main meal is I like to use like these little copper molds or little paper bake cups, and you have a spoon or something out, so that way people are not digging their hands into the food, especially during the cold and flu season. So always have little cups. You can have the little disposable bake cups. I love using these little tins. There are all kinds of different ones. It's just a fun little vintage touch to add to it. But then you can get those little small portion sizes, and everyone's staying nice and safe. The next tip I'd like to share with you is always be thinking about your guests' needs. So I like to really, in the bathroom, be really considerate about having some items that they might arrive that they might have forgotten or have ran out of. And so I like to have extra supplies on hand. And let me just give you some examples of what I keep in my cabinet here. So I have some extra feminine products. I have some good room spray. But in here I have Advil, I have some Aleve, I have Tylenol. I've got some Listerine little tabs for the breath. Since we're having these big holiday meals, I always like to keep some Tums on hand in case anyone might get some heartburn. Of course, I always like to have some different lotions. I even have floss in here, so in case they get something stuck that they need to take care of, we've got some floss. I have some wet wipes. Also, this whole thing right here is just chapsticks. So I'm a chapstick nut. I have a chapstick by my bed. I have a chapstick in my purse. I have a chapstick in my car. And so I have these cute chapsticks here. So if someone needs one, they can just take one with them. And I have all kinds of them here. in this little jar. I've got some extra little hairpins in case someone needs that. And then down at the bottom, I've got the first aid. I got the Band-Aids and all kinds of different shapes of Band-Aids. Some mints. I have some hairspray and some tissues. And I even keep a lint roller just in case someone needs to dust off a little bit. So these are just kind of some of the staples I like to keep in my cabinet. Now, if you don't have a big cabinet like this in your bathroom, I have this cute little cart like this that you could put those items in, and you can just put it in your smaller bathroom. That would be really cute, full of all kinds of little things. So also in this little bathroom, I have this little table that just has some mints and of course another thing of lotion just right here ready for them with a candle that I have burning. And then I have these paper guest towels in case they don't want to use the regular towels. So these are always a little fun addition. Then I always have like a little note, or I let my guests know that they're welcome to use anything in the restroom, anything that's there that they may need. They can make themselves feel at home, because that's really the important thing about having a party and having guests over. You want them to be comfortable and say, my casa is your casa. So another great tip to help you through your holiday entertaining is to always keep the conversation going. So after everyone gets done eating, especially when we're eating turkey, we get a little tired and may not want to sit and talk so much. So I found these cute little games. I picked up 3 of them. This one's called Happy Holidays. This one's How Well Do You Know Me? And this one's called Family Time. And there's 50 little cards in here that has questions for you to ask around. And I loved this one. I opened this one. It says, how well do you know me? And the first question was, would I rather spend a year in a foreign city or a year in a cabin in the woods? So if you think you know me, put the answer below. But these are so cute. These were $8.95, and I got these at a local shop here in Waynesville, North Carolina called Robin Blu. So if you're in town, make sure you go check them out. They've got lots of fun things, but these little conversation starters were a lot of fun. And the main thing, especially now, we seem to be very divided. And so you don't want to talk politics and things like that. So this would be a good way to have these fun little games to keep everybody talking from what's going on in this crazy world, and just have a good time with everything. Another great tip for you is to share your Wi-Fi password with your guests that come in. So you can have a little board. I've got this cute little board that comes with this little easel that I can put, and I've got my Wi-Fi password. And then another thing, a lot of families gather around the holidays and watch the bowl games that are on, or the big Thanksgiving Day parade. And so if you have friends or family that's visiting from out of town, they might not know what all the channels the games or the parade is on. So put down like the important games or the parade and list the local channels, so that way they can turn straight to their favorite football game or to watch the parade and see what floats are going on that year. So that's another great tip for you to share with your guests as they come in. Another tip for you is to go ahead, and once you've figured out your menu, and if you're having friends bring food over, is to kind of go ahead and set your bowls or your platters out so you'll know that you've got enough spacing for everything. So like you've got your mashed potato bowl, you've got your coleslaw, you've got, of course, your platter for your turkey, and you get all your casseroles and you get it all planned out and you lay it out. So let's say if you know Uncle Bob is bringing in a sweet potato casserole, you go ahead and designate a spot for you where you know Uncle Bob's casserole is going to go. So also, because sometimes people forget to bring serving pieces with their foods, so make sure you've got plenty of serving pieces on hand. Also like to have a ladle for any gravies or any things that you need to dip out, and always have lots of slotted spoons for like your green beans or mixed veggies or whatever you might be having. A slotted spoon is always a great thing to have on hand. Of course, some forks. You want some tongs to get your rolls out, so that way no one's using their hands for anything. So always think about the space. Think about the foods that people are bringing. And then also a great fun thing to do is if you're having people bring food over, let's say Uncle Bob is bringing his famous sweet potato casserole over, ask Bob to bring a recipe card with that recipe he uses. And if you have Granny's baked apples and you have Aunt Susie's green bean casserole, ask them to bring a recipe that they've done. And then what you can do is you can collect all those recipes, put it in a little booklet, and then when everyone goes home, you can send them and make a little cover that says Thanksgiving 2021 or Christmas 2021 and say, it was so great having you for the holidays. Here's all of our favorite recipes from this year's gathering. Can't wait for next year. And then send them all those recipes, because it never fails. If someone's made the stuffing and they're like, that was delicious stuffing, what do you have in that? I'd like that recipe. But then we get busy and we never get them the recipe. So if you can ask the people that are bringing the food ahead of time to have that recipe ready, you can share it with everyone there. And that's just a great little memory and a great little memento. And then you could start a family tradition. How cute would it be to have a little box and you had all of those recipes from each year in that box? I think that's adorable, and I love that idea, and I hope you try that one. So the last tip I want to share with you today about how to be a great host or hostess during the holiday seasons is to think ahead of time. So we know that we're going to have a lot of friends and family over, and they're all going to be bringing food. And so when it comes time for people to leave, let's think of ways that we can send the food home with them. And that way we're not at the last moment trying to find enough Tupperware containers, enough Rubbermaid containers, and you lose all of your Rubbermaid or Tupperware that you have at your home. They now make these cute little treat tins. This one's just really cute. I got this one at Marshall's. This one also came from Marshall's. I think I've got a couple from TJ Maxx, but they're cute. They come with a lid and some wax paper inside, and they're just little to-go trays that you can package up food. Have some bags ready, so if you send a couple of these home with people, they can just put them in a bag, roll it down, and then you could write on the bag like, loved having you, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, whatever it may be. You can write that on the little bag and then send them with those treats as they go out the door. So then you're not left over with a ton of food at your home and you're like, what am I going to do with all this? And then you've also sent out all of your own storage containers. So these are a great tip to have on hand to pack up food to go with your guests. But guys, I just want to tell you once again, it's about the friends and the family that's gathered around the table. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be, it can be so casual. They make some of the cutest paper plates now. Look how cute that is. Some of the cutest little napkins. And so then you can just, not have to worry about doing all the dishes afterwards, but you're just taking that time to enjoy your loved ones that are sharing these special holidays with you. So I wish you all the great holiday season coming up. I can't wait to share more tips with you as we go through these holidays together, and just blessings to you all. We love you guys, and thanks for joining us. Once again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the button below, subscribe, and follow our little channel here. We just have a great time, and we just want to bring you along with us. So we will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.